What if the key to unlocking your true potential lay hidden in the tales of ancient Greece? Enter the world of Hercules, where strength meets tragedy and redemption awaits. In this video, we'll unravel the story of this legendary hero, discovering how his trials mirror our own daily struggles. Prepare to challenge everything you thought you knew about heroism, perseverance, and the human spirit. Are you ready to harness the power of a demigod in your own life? Let's embark on an epic journey that will transform the way you face life's challenges. Origins and birth of Hercules. Our tale begins with Zeus, king of the Olympians, who disguised himself as Amphitryon to visit Alcmene, resulting in the birth of Hercules. This divine encounter set the stage for Hercules' legendary life. Meanwhile, Hera, Zeus's wife and queen of the gods, was far from oblivious to her husband's infidelities. Known for her jealousy and vengeful nature, Hera would play a crucial role in shaping the destiny of the child conceived during those 3 fateful nights. When Alcmene's time came to give birth, Zeus boasted to the other gods that a descendant of Perseus, Alcmene's grandfather, would be born that day and rule over Mycenae. Hera, clever and bitter, extracted a promise from Zeus that the child born that day to the house of Perseus would indeed become ruler. Then, using her powers as the goddess of childbirth, Hera delayed Alcmene's labor while hastening that of another Perseus descendant, Nicippe, who was 7 months pregnant with Eurystheus. Eurystheus was thus born first, fulfilling Zeus's promise and becoming the rightful ruler of Mycenae. When Alcmene finally gave birth to twins, one fathered by Zeus and one by her mortal husband Amphitryon, the stage was set for a life of extraordinary challenges and triumphs. The divine child was initially named Alcaeus or Alcides, only later to be renamed Heracles, meaning glory of Hera, which Romans would translate as Hercules. This name was a bitter irony, considering Hera's animosity towards the child. From the very beginning, Hercules displayed the extraordinary strength that would become his hallmark. One night, when the twins were mere infants, Hera sent 2 enormous serpents to kill them in their crib. While his mortal twin brother Iphicles cried in terror, Hercules grasped a serpent in each hand and strangled them with ease, showcasing his divine power. This early display of strength foreshadowed the great deeds Hercules would accomplish, but it also hinted at the constant challenges he would face due to Hera's relentless hostility. Throughout his life, Hercules would grapple with the dual nature of his birth, half god, half mortal, embodying both incredible strength and profound vulnerability. The circumstances of Hercules' birth and early childhood raise intriguing questions about destiny, divine intervention, and the nature of heroism. Was Hercules fated for greatness from the start, or did the challenges he faced shape him into the hero he would become? How much of our own potential is innate, and how much is forged through adversity? Consider your own origins. While we may not be born of divine parentage, each of us carries a unique combination of inherited traits and circumstances that shape our initial path in life. Like Hercules, we often find ourselves navigating between the expectations placed upon us by others, our own Hera, so to speak, and the innate strengths and passions that drive us from within. Hercules' birth story also highlights the complex family dynamics that would influence his life. The love of his mother, Alcmene, the guidance of his stepfather, Amphitryon, the divine power inherited from Zeus, and the constant threat posed by Hera's jealousy all played crucial roles in molding the young demigod's character. As we delve deeper into Hercules' life in the coming chapters, we'll see how these early experiences laid the foundation for his legendary labors and tragic falls. But for now, let's pause and reflect on the power of origins. How have the circumstances of your birth and early life influenced your path? What strengths do you possess that, like Hercules' divine might, set you apart? And what challenges or oppositions have you faced that, like Hera's enmity, have pushed you to grow stronger? Remember, Every hero's journey begins with a single step, often taken in the face of daunting odds. Hercules' story reminds us that greatness can emerge from complex and challenging beginnings. As we continue to explore his epic tale, consider how you might harness your own innate strengths to overcome the obstacles in your path, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and heroism in your own life. Early life and family. In his early life, Hercules struggled with his extraordinary abilities. Raised in Thebes by Amphitryon and Alcmene, he showcased his strength from a young age. From a young age, it was clear that Hercules was no ordinary child. His divine strength, inherited from his father Zeus, set him apart from his peers. Imagine being a child with the power to lift boulders or wrestle full-grown lions. This was Hercules' reality. But with great power came great challenges, both physical and emotional. Hercules' education was as extraordinary as his strength. Recognizing the need to channel his incredible abilities, his parents arranged for him to be tutored by some of the greatest heroes and sages of the time. Among his teachers were Amphitryon, his mortal father, who taught him how to drive a chariot and handle weapons; Autolycus, a son of Hermes, who instructed him in wrestling and pancratium, a combination of boxing and wrestling; Eurytus, a master archer, who taught him archery; Castor, one of the Dioscuri, who trained him in fencing and fighting in armor; Linus, brother of Orpheus, who attempted to teach him music and letters. It was during one of these lessons that Hercules' struggle with his own strength became tragically apparent. Frustrated by his inability to master the lyre, Hercules lashed out at Linus, accidentally killing his teacher with a single blow. This incident marked a turning point in young Hercules' life, forcing him to confront the destructive potential of his power and the need for self-control. Following this tragedy, Amphitryon sent Hercules to tend his cattle on Mount Cithaeron. It was here, away from the bustling city, that Hercules began to truly come into his own. The solitude allowed him to reflect on his nature and learn to harness his strength. During this time, Hercules encountered his first great challenge, the Lion of Cithaeron. This beast had been terrorizing the local herds, and Hercules, determined to prove himself, set out to defeat it. Armed with nothing but his bare hands and indomitable courage, he wrestled the lion and emerged victorious. This act of bravery caught the attention of Thespius, king of nearby Thespiae. Thespius, impressed by the young hero's feat, invited Hercules to stay at his palace. The king had 50 daughters, and in a cunning plan to secure heroic descendants, he arranged for Hercules to sleep with a different daughter each night for 50 nights. Unbeknownst to Hercules, who thought he was sleeping with the same woman, he fathered 51 sons, including a set of twins, with the princesses of Thespiae. This episode, while showcasing Hercules' virility, also hints at the complex relationships he would have with women throughout his life. It raises questions about consent, responsibility, and the expectations placed on heroes in ancient Greek society. As Hercules matured, his reputation grew. He participated in various adventures, including joining the Argonauts in their quest for the Golden Fleece, though he left the expedition early to pursue his own goals. Perhaps the most significant event of Hercules' early adulthood was his marriage to Megara, daughter of Creon, king of Thebes. This union seemed to promise a period of stability and happiness for the young hero. Hercules and Megara had several children. Accounts vary on the exact number, and for a time it appeared that the demigod might settle into a life of domestic tranquility. However, the peaceful interlude was not to last. Hera, still seething with jealousy over Zeus's infidelity, had not forgotten her hatred for Hercules. In a cruel twist of fate, she inflicted Hercules with a temporary madness. In this state of divine-induced insanity, Hercules committed an act that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He murdered his own wife and children. When Hercules regained his senses and realized what he had done, he was overcome with grief and horror. This tragic event would serve as the catalyst for his most famous adventures, the 12 Labors, as he sought to atone for his actions and achieve redemption. Hercules' early life and family experiences shaped him profoundly. They taught him the importance of controlling his strength, the weight of responsibility that comes with great power, and the devastating consequences of losing control. These lessons would prove crucial in the trials to come. As we reflect on this chapter of Hercules' life, consider the parallels to our own experiences. How do we learn to control and channel our own strengths? How do we cope with the mistakes we make, especially those that hurt the ones we love? Hercules' journey reminds us that even the mightiest heroes grapple with personal demons, and that true strength lies not just in physical prowess, but in the ability to face our failings and strive for redemption. The 12 Labors. The 12 Labors of Hercules stand as the cornerstone of his legendary status, a series of seemingly impossible tasks that would test the limits of his strength, courage, and ingenuity. These labors were not just feats of physical prowess, but a path to redemption for our troubled hero. Following the tragic death of his family at his own hands, Hercules sought purification and atonement. He traveled to Delphi, home of the famous oracle, to seek guidance. The oracle, channeling the voice of Apollo, decreed that Hercules must serve King Eurystheus of Tiryns and Mycenae for 12 years. During this time, he would need to complete any task the king set before him. Thus began the 12 Labors of Hercules. 1. The Nemean Lion. For his first labor, Hercules was sent to slay the Nemean lion, a monstrous beast with an impenetrable hide. After discovering that his arrows and club were useless against the creature, Hercules resorted to his raw strength. He wrestled the lion, eventually choking it to death with his bare hands. This labor taught Hercules that brute force alone wasn't always the answer. Sometimes, one must think creatively to overcome obstacles. The Lernaean Hydra. The second labor pitted Hercules against the Hydra, a 9-headed serpent whose breath was poisonous and whose blood was so virulent that even its scent was deadly. The challenge lay in the Hydra's ability to regrow 2 heads for every one cut off. Hercules overcame this by enlisting the help of his nephew Iolaus, who cauterized each neck stump after Hercules cut off a head. This labor emphasized the importance of teamwork and strategic thinking. The Erymanthian boar. Hercules' third task was to capture the Erymanthian boar alive. He accomplished this by chasing the boar into deep snow, where it became exhausted and easy to capture. This labor showcased Hercules' ability to use the environment to his advantage. 4. The Ceryneian hind. The fourth labor required Hercules to capture the Ceryneian hind, a sacred deer of Artemis, without harming it. This task took Hercules a full year, as he had to chase the incredibly swift creature across Greece. He finally captured it by waiting until it was too tired to run, demonstrating the value of patience and perseverance. The Stymphalian birds. For his fifth labor, Hercules had to drive away the man-eating Stymphalian birds. He used a pair of bronze crotala, noise-making clappers, given to him by Athena to scare the birds into flight, then shot them down with his bow and arrows. This labor illustrated the importance of using the right tools for the job. 6. The Augean stables. The sixth labor seemed more mundane, but was no less challenging. Hercules was tasked with cleaning the Augean stables, which housed thousands of cattle and hadn't been cleaned in 30 years. Instead of manual labor, Hercules cleverly diverted 2 rivers to wash out the filth, completing the task in a single day. This showed Hercules' problem-solving skills and ability to think outside the box. 7. The Cretan bull. Hercules' seventh labor was to capture the Cretan bull, a fire-breathing beast. He wrestled it into submission and brought it back to King Eurystheus. This labor demonstrated Hercules' mastery over beasts and his growing confidence in handling dangerous creatures. The mares of Diomedes. The eighth labor involved stealing the man-eating mares of Diomedes. Hercules accomplished this by feeding Diomedes to his own horses, breaking their violent habit. This labor, while brutal, showed Hercules' understanding of poetic justice and his willingness to use cunning as well as strength. To the belt of Hippolyta. For his 9th labor, Hercules was sent to retrieve the belt of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. This task involved diplomacy as well as combat, as Hercules initially negotiated peacefully with Hippolyta. However, Hera's interference led to a battle. This labor highlighted the complexities of human interactions and the unpredictable nature of Hercules' quests. 10. The cattle of Geryon. The 10th labor required Hercules to steal the cattle of the 3-bodied giant Geryon. This task involved a long journey to the edge of the known world, battling various monsters along the way. It tested not just Hercules' strength, but his endurance and determination. 11. The apples of the Hesperides. For his 11th labor, Hercules had to retrieve golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. This task required Hercules to outsmart Atlas, temporarily taking the weight of the heavens upon his shoulders. It demonstrated Hercules' cunning and his incredible strength of both body and will. 12. Capturing Cerberus. The final and most dangerous labor was to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed guard dog of the underworld. Hercules descended into Hades, faced death itself, and returned with Cerberus, showcasing his ultimate triumph over mortality. These 12 labors transformed Hercules from a troubled, guilt-ridden man into a true hero. Each task not only tested his legendary strength, but also forced him to grow in wisdom, patience, and resourcefulness. They represent the archetypal hero's journey, a series of trials that forge character and lead to ultimate redemption. As we reflect on these labors, we can see parallels to our own lives. While we may not face mythical beasts, we all encounter challenges that seem insurmountable at first glance. Hercules' journey teaches us that with perseverance, creativity, and sometimes a little help, we can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. The 12 labors also remind us that redemption is possible, no matter how grave our past mistakes. Through his unwavering dedication to these tasks, Hercules not only atoned for his past, but transcended it, becoming something greater than he was before. In the end, these labors were more than just a punishment or a path to redemption. They were a crucible in which the true hero was forged. And as Hercules emerged victorious from his final task, little did he know that his greatest challenges and triumphs still lay ahead. Other heroic deeds and adventures. While the 12 labors form the core of Hercules' legendary status, his heroic journey was far from over once he completed them. This chapter explores the numerous other adventures and deeds that cemented Hercules' place as one of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology. One of Hercules' most famous exploits was his participation in the voyage of the Argo. Jason, seeking to claim his rightful throne, assembled a crew of the greatest heroes in Greece to retrieve the Golden Fleece. Hercules, with his unparalleled strength, was a natural choice for this expedition. However, his time with the Argonauts was cut short. When the crew stopped at Mysia, Hercules' young companion Hylas went to fetch water and was abducted by nymphs. Hercules, distraught, abandoned the quest to search for his lost friend, showcasing a softer side to the mighty hero, one of deep loyalty and affection. Another significant adventure was Hercules' role in the Gigantomachy, the great battle between the Olympian gods and the giants. An oracle had declared that the giants could only be defeated with the help of a mortal hero. Zeus called upon his son Hercules, whose arrows, dipped in the poisonous blood of the Hydra, proved crucial in turning the tide of battle. This episode not only demonstrated Hercules' martial prowess, but also his importance in the cosmic order, bridging the gap between gods and mortals. Hercules' travels took him far and wide, and his adventures often involved freeing people from oppressive rulers or monsters. In Aeolia, he freed King Aeolus from the barbaric Laestrygonians. In Egypt, he slew the cruel King Busiris, who sacrificed foreigners to the gods. These acts of liberation earned Hercules the love and admiration of people across the ancient world. The hero's strength and combat skills were legendary, but Hercules was also known for his wit and problem-solving abilities. When challenged to a wrestling match by Antaeus, a giant who gained strength from contact with the earth, Hercules realized the source of his opponent's power. He lifted Antaeus off the ground and crushed him in a bear hug, demonstrating that brawn alone is not enough. Intelligence and strategy are equally important. Hercules' life was not without its share of tragedy and moral ambiguity. In one infamous incident, he was a guest in the home of his friend Iphitus. In a fit of madness, possibly induced by Hera, Hercules killed Iphitus. This act of violence against a host and friend was considered one of the gravest crimes in Greek culture. To atone, Hercules was forced to serve as a slave to Queen Omphale of Lydia for 3 years. This period of servitude was a humbling experience for the hero, teaching him the value of humility and the consequences of unchecked anger. As Hercules aged, his adventures took on a more personal nature. He married Deianira, but their relationship was fraught with challenges. When the centaur Nessus attempted to kidnap Deianira, Hercules shot him with an arrow poisoned with Hydra blood. The dying Nessus, in an act of revenge, told Deianira that his blood would act as a love potion, ensuring Hercules' fidelity. This deception would later lead to Hercules' mortal demise. Throughout his life, Hercules embodied the complex nature of heroism in Greek mythology. He was capable of great acts of courage and kindness, but also prone to fits of rage and violence. His strength was both a blessing and a curse, allowing him to accomplish incredible feats, but also causing unintended destruction. Hercules' adventures beyond the 12 labors showcase a more multifaceted hero. We see him not just as a solitary figure overcoming impossible odds, but as a team player, a liberator of the oppressed, a friend, a lover, and ultimately, a flawed human being despite his divine parentage. These stories remind us that life's journey doesn't end after we overcome our greatest challenges. There are always new adventures, new obstacles to face. They teach us that true heroism lies not in perfection, but in how we face our flaws and continue to strive for greatness despite our mistakes. As Hercules' mortal life drew to a close, the consequences of his past actions and the machinations of those around him would converge, leading to a finale both tragic and transcendent. Tragedy and redemption. The life of Hercules, filled with triumph and heroism, was destined to end in a manner befitting his larger-than-life existence. This chapter explores the tragic finale of Hercules' mortal life and his ultimate ascension to godhood, a journey that embodies the Greek concept of catharsis, a purification through suffering and redemption. Our story begins with Hercules and his third wife, Deianira, traveling together. They came to the river Evenus, where the centaur Nessus served as a ferryman. Hercules crossed the river by himself, leaving Nessus to carry Deianira across. However, the centaur, overcome by Deianira's beauty, attempted to abduct her. Hercules, hearing his wife's cries, quickly shot Nessus with an arrow tipped with the poisonous blood of the Hydra. As Nessus lay dying, he enacted a cruel plan for revenge. He told Deianira that his blood, mixed with olive oil, would act as a love potion, ensuring Hercules' fidelity. Deianira, unaware of the poison, believed him and kept the mixture. Years passed, and Hercules continued his adventures. During one of his quests, he was attracted to a young woman named Iole. When news of this reached Deianira, she remembered Nessus's love potion. Seeking to reclaim her husband's affections, she soaked a shirt in the mixture and sent it to Hercules as a gift. Hercules donned the shirt, unaware of its deadly nature. As he wore it, the Hydra's poison began to burn his skin, causing him excruciating pain. In his agony, Hercules tried to remove the shirt, but it had fused to his skin, tearing away chunks of flesh as he pulled at it. Realizing he was dying, Hercules decided to end his life on his own terms. He traveled to Mount Oeta, where he built a grand funeral pyre. He climbed atop it and asked his friend Philoctetes to light the pyre. As the flames engulfed him, Hercules faced his death with the same courage he had shown throughout his life. But this was not to be the end of Hercules. As his mortal body burned away, his divine essence, inherited from Zeus, remained. Zeus sent Athena to retrieve Hercules and bring him to Mount Olympus. There, Hercules was given ambrosia and nectar, granting him full immortality. He was reconciled with Hera and given her daughter Hebe as his fourth and final wife. This tragic yet transcendent end to Hercules' mortal life carries profound meaning. It represents the ultimate test of a hero, facing death itself with dignity and courage. The burning away of his mortal flesh symbolizes the purification of his human flaws and weaknesses, leaving only his divine, heroic essence. Hercules' ascension to Olympus can be seen as the ultimate redemption. Despite his mistakes and the tragedies he both suffered and caused, his heroic deeds and indomitable spirit earned him a place among the gods. This transformation from mortal hero to immortal god represents the potential for transcendence that lies within all of us. The tale of Hercules' end also serves as a cautionary story about the consequences of our actions, even those done with good intentions. Deianira's misguided attempt to secure her husband's love led to his painful demise. Nessus's final act of vengeance came to fruition years after his death. These elements remind us of the complex web of cause and effect that shapes our lives. Moreover, Hercules' death and apotheosis, elevation to divine status, reflect the Greek view of heroism. A true hero, in their eyes, was one who faced not only external challenges, but also internal struggles and personal flaws. It was through overcoming these challenges, often at great personal cost, that a hero proved their worth. As we reflect on Hercules' journey from troubled demigod to Olympian deity, we're reminded that our own lives are a constant process of growth, challenge, and transformation. Like Hercules, we all face our own labors, our own moments of triumph and tragedy. And like him, we have the potential to transcend our limitations, to rise above our mistakes, and to achieve a form of immortality through the impact we leave on the world. In the end, the story of Hercules teaches us that true strength lies not just in our ability to overcome external obstacles, but in our capacity to face our own demons, to endure suffering, and to emerge stronger and wiser. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is potential for redemption and transformation. As Hercules took his place among the stars, his mortal life ended, but his legend was just beginning. His tales would be told and retold for millennia, inspiring countless generations to find the hero within themselves. Myths and Truths, the Historical Hercules. As we delve into this chapter, we transition from the realm of myth to the world of historical inquiry. The legend of Hercules has captivated imaginations for millennia, but what, if anything, can we say about the historical basis for this larger-than-life figure? The search for a historical Hercules is a complex endeavor, blending archaeology, anthropology, and comparative mythology. While it's crucial to approach this topic with skepticism, there are intriguing elements that suggest Hercules may have roots in actual historical events or persons. First, it's important to understand that the Hercules we know is likely an amalgamation of various heroic figures from different cultures and time periods. The Greeks themselves acknowledged multiple versions of Hercules, including an older Pelasgian Hercules predating the Olympian version. One theory posits that Hercules may have originally been a sun god, his 12 labors representing the sun's passage through the 12 zodiacal signs. This astronomical interpretation gains credence when we consider the solar aspects of some of Hercules' labors, such as his journey to the far west to retrieve the cattle of Geryon, possibly symbolizing the sun's daily journey across the sky. Another perspective suggests that Hercules might have been based on a real Bronze Age warlord, or several warlords whose exploits were gradually exaggerated and mythologized over time. The wide geographic spread of Hercules' adventures, from Greece to Libya to the edges of the known world, could reflect actual trade routes or military campaigns of the time. Archaeological evidence provides some tantalizing clues. The city of Tiryns in the Peloponnese, closely associated with Hercules in myth, was indeed a major Mycenaean center. Its massive walls, once thought to be the work of the mythical Cyclopes, demonstrate the kind of impressive engineering that could have inspired tales of superhuman strength. Comparisons with other mythological traditions offer further insights. Many cultures have stories of mighty heroes performing seemingly impossible feats, from Gilgamesh in Mesopotamia to Cuchulainn in Irish mythology. This suggests a universal human need for superhuman role models, with Hercules fulfilling this role in Greek culture. The cult of Hercules, which spread throughout the Mediterranean world, provides another avenue for investigation. The widespread worship of Hercules, including at sites like the Temple of Hercules Victor in Rome, indicates his deep cultural significance. However, it's worth noting that cultic popularity doesn't necessarily equate to historical reality. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Hercules myth is its potential connection to actual historical practices. For instance, the tale of Hercules cleaning the Augean stables might reflect real advancements in Bronze Age sanitation and irrigation techniques. Similarly, his defeat of the Nemean lion could be a mythologized account of the eradication of lions from Greece, which did indeed occur in historical times. It's also worth considering the political use of the Hercules myth. Many rulers, from Alexander the Great to the Roman emperors, claimed descent from or association with Hercules. This suggests that regardless of his historical reality, the idea of Hercules held significant cultural and political power. Despite these fascinating possibilities, it's crucial to remember that the search for a historical Hercules remains speculative. The line between myth and history in the ancient world was often blurry, and separating fact from fiction at this distance is challenging at best. What we can say with certainty is that the story of Hercules, whether based on a real person or not, reflects real aspects of ancient Greek culture, values, and worldview. His labors and adventures paint a picture of a world filled with danger and mystery, where humans struggle against nature and their own limitations. The ethical dilemmas he faces and his quest for redemption speak to timeless human concerns. In the end, perhaps the historical truth of Hercules is less important than the truths his story reveals about the human condition. Whether he was a sun god, a Bronze Age warlord, or a purely fictional creation, Hercules continues to resonate with us because he embodies both the heights of human potential and the depths of human frailty. As we close this chapter, we're left with a portrait of Hercules, not as a simple historical figure, but as a complex cultural phenomenon that has evolved over thousands of years. His story, with all its contradictions and complexities, continues to be retold and reinterpreted, proving that the power of myth often transcends the boundaries of historical fact. Legacy and lessons for modern life. The enduring legacy of Hercules extends far beyond the realms of ancient mythology. His influence permeates our modern culture, language, and even our understanding of heroism itself. As we conclude our journey through the life and legends of this iconic figure, let's explore how Hercules continues to shape our world and what lessons we can draw from his story. In popular culture, Hercules remains a household name. From Disney animations to blockbuster movies, his adventures continue to captivate audiences worldwide. His name has become synonymous with extraordinary strength and courage, often used in branding to convey power and reliability. But the legacy of Hercules goes deeper than mere entertainment or marketing. His trials and tribulations offer profound insights into the human condition. Hercules' 12 labors teach us about the power of persistence in the face of adversity. No matter how impossible the task may seem, with determination and ingenuity, we can overcome great challenges. This lesson in perseverance resonates with our own daily struggles and aspirations. While Hercules' physical power was his greatest asset, it also led to his greatest tragedies. This duality of strength reminds us that our own strengths, if not tempered with wisdom and control, can become our weaknesses. It's a powerful metaphor for the need to balance our abilities with responsibility and self-awareness. Hercules' quest to atone for his past mistakes shows us that it's never too late to seek redemption and strive to be better. This theme of second chances offers hope and encouragement to all who have faltered on their path. Many of Hercules' victories came not just from brute force, but from creative problem-solving. This teaches us the value of using our minds as well as our muscles, highlighting the importance of cleverness and adaptability in overcoming life's challenges. Perhaps most poignantly, Hercules' struggles often mirrored internal conflicts, reminding us that some of our greatest battles are fought within ourselves. This aspect of his story encourages us to confront our own inner demons, fostering personal growth and self-understanding. As we reflect on these lessons, we see that the story of Hercules is not just a tale of superhuman feats, but a mirror to our own struggles and aspirations. His journey from flawed hero to divine being echoes our own quest for self-improvement and transcendence. In conclusion, the legend of Hercules endures because it speaks to something fundamental in the human experience. It reminds us of our potential for greatness, the challenges we must overcome, and the personal growth that comes from facing our trials with courage and integrity. As we end this video, I encourage you to consider, what are the labors in your own life? What strengths do you possess that, like Hercules, you can use to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds? Remember, within each of us lies the potential for heroism, waiting to be awakened. Thank you for joining me on this mythological journey. If you've enjoyed this exploration of Hercules, you're sure to find our video on the Trojan War equally fascinating. It's already available on your screen, ready for you to click and delve deeper into the rich tapestry of Greek mythology and history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What other mythological figures would you like us to explore in future videos? Your engagement helps us continue bringing these timeless stories to life. Until next time, may you find the strength of Hercules within yourself to conquer your own labors. Remember, every great story, including yours, begins with a single courageous step.